Hi Capricorn, and welcome to your July 2019 General Tarot and Astrology reading. My name is Ariel, and I can't wait to share with you some of the stuff that's going to be hitting us Capricorns, because I am a Capricorn too. So this is a big month ahead for us. It really truly is. We're going to have a couple of eclipses this month, so it starts out with a solar eclipse, and at the same time, of course, that means it's a new moon. It's in the sign of Cancer, and so that's affecting our house of relationships. So this is absolutely a time where relationships are highlighted. We will be feeling it big time as the sun continues to travel through the sign of Cancer, illuminating all of those areas of love, relationships, partnerships, especially for Capricorn. A lot of times working relationships are also involved in that. We also have Venus, the sign of romance and relationships, going into Cancer on July 3rd, just a day after that new moon eclipse happens. So if there's something that you really want, Capricorn, in your love life, something that hasn't worked out, something that maybe didn't go the way you wanted to, and you had to let it go, even if you didn't really want to let it go, this means that a lot of the time this is either going to be revisited, or you're going to start something completely new and fresh. This is also, keep in mind, a Mercury retrograde month. Mercury retrogrades always affect our communication. They are always about the rewords in life. So rework, rethink, revisit. And something that can happen, bringing us into the relationships, anybody, any of my Capricorns, any cross watchers as well, this is true for everyone. Many times, old relationships can come in back to say, hi, remember me? Because there's one of our rewords, remember, revisit. So sometimes you say, oh, I really don't want to hear from that person ever again. Sometimes you say, oh, wow, this is great. Maybe we get a second chance, or at least we just get some good closure. So keep all that in mind when it comes to the relationship life. Depending on where the position of your Venus sign is, also gets into how you'll experience this Venus in Cancer for the month. But for most Capricorns, what we will definitely feel more than usual, because we are very good at being alone. We're kind of loners. We like to work. We like to do our own thing. But we do have that melancholy of the soul. Always with Capricorn, there's always that element. So we do get kind of lonesome. And usually it's not for like a ton of people. We just want somebody, the one that's really special to us, the people that really, really matter and really get us, because we're different. We're some different folks as goats. So, you know, this is what you're pining for. This is maybe what you're yearning for. And hopefully this month shines a light on that for us. So put your intentions out there. Put your energy out there. Feel that, you know, what I want is what I will have. What is best for me. And if it's not best for you, if you get a no to that question, if you say this is who I want, and it's very obviously a no, please let it go. We're the worst at holding on to something long after we should let it go. So if it's very obvious that we should let it go, let it go like Elsa. So on the opposite of that, we do have, of course, because the sun is in Cancer, our full moon of the month is in Capricorn. So of course every year we have one full moon a year in each sign. So this is Capricorn's time for its full moon cycle. So you will be feeling that on July 16th in conjunction with a lunar eclipse. So what makes this significant that's different from a regular full moon? Well, a solar eclipse, along with the new moon, adds an extra oomph, an extra energy of bringing in what we want. So that's why it's very important, very powerful right now to say, what do I want in love? What do I want in partnership? It's very important to say, here's what I want. I'll put that out there, and that's what I want to get back. And so when it comes to the lunar eclipse, this is also, it's like the exhale. Solar eclipse is like breathing in, bringing in. Lunar eclipses are letting it go, letting it out. So anything that you don't want, this is the time to release. Also, full moon is the culmination of that new moon cycle. So we will be, as well, coming to some really good intentions to put out there. And this is the opposite side of Cancer. These are both security-driven and motivated signs. And the difference really is for Capricorn between Cancer. Cancer finds their security more in emotions and people and those that care about them, whereas Capricorn, like it or not, we find our security through having money in the bank, meaningful work to be doing, fully realizing our ambitions and dreams. And even if it takes a very long time to get to that goal or that dream, we don't mind. We're just going to climb one step at a time. That's the way us Capricorns do. We have that patience. We don't mind waiting for the culmination. The thing that's really going to be interesting about this, and you can see right here on the chart, is that we've already been going through some really heavy energy for Capricorn. We're about a little more than halfway through Pluto's movement in our sign. We're also going through Saturn being in Capricorn, which is not terrible because Saturn is actually quite happy in Capricorn being its natural place. But what this does, because Saturn and Pluto are two of our heaviest, most intense planets of reworking and transformation. So this is why Capricorns are going through and have been through for really since like 2007, 2009, especially in that period. We went through some huge feelings of transformation and change and growth, sometimes a lot of purging, sometimes to the point of life or death. Some people did experience or have experienced, an actual death in the family or a loss. It usually doesn't mean an actual death, but it can have that connotation because of that Pluto energy. This is also a time historically that many revolutions and major changes in history have happened. The last times that Pluto was in Capricorn were during the American and French Revolution and during the 1500s. So if you go back through history, it will start to make more sense why we're living through some really intense, transformative times, because this is the universal energy that we're living through right now. And so Capricorn is part of this, a huge part of this. This is why I would say of almost all the signs, Capricorn is going through some of the hardest times, but also some of the most powerful times of growth and transformation. So all of my Capricorn brothers and sisters and family out there, you're not alone. This is major stuff. It's bringing us greater power. It's bringing us, a wonderful, transformative new beginnings, but it's not without a lot of work. And as it always is with Capricorn energy, when we put in the work, the universe tends to reward us quite greatly. So hang in there with this. I think this is going to be a really intense but very beautiful and actually really magical kind of time for us. Okay, so the other thing I want to mention is that Mars and Mercury are both moving through Leo, and that's going to be for most of the month. So you will feel that. That's going to be going through that universal 8th house. So don't be surprised if you feel some moving and shaking in those deep, secretive places. This could also mean that secrets come to the surface. If you feel like anybody's been hiding something from you, if you've been hiding something from yourself, don't be surprised if that suddenly comes up for review or to be confronted. Don't be afraid. This is all normal. Just go with the flow. Go with the process. The more that you resist and fight it, the harder. But if you say, you know what? Spirit, let me work with that. Even if it's hard, give it to me. I'll work with it. How do I work with it? And hopefully, as we go through your card reading, we're going to get a few tools and some guidance. So I'm going to start by pulling one major arcana card for the sign of Capricorn. This will include Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus, or anybody that just resonates highly with the sign of Capricorn. Of course, all my cross watchers and my fellow stargazers are more than welcome to follow along. And I also will say this card reading is not going to resonate with every single Capricorn, because this is for the general energy of the sign, not for each individual out there. So whatever resonates with you, take it in, work with it, walk around with it, but if it doesn't make sense or it doesn't resonate with you, that's obviously not your information. That might be someone else's. So toss that out. There are amazing readers on YouTube. So if my reading doesn't get you, somebody's is going to. Alright guys, so let's go ahead. I'm going to pull that Major Arcana card. Ooh! I think Sagittarius had this one as well. This is all about balance, and it truly is a balancing act between Cancer and Capricorn for us. Usually Capricorns, we don't have to be told to temper our action, but this is really making sure that we stay the course, that we stay that balance, that we don't work too hard, that we don't push too much, that we definitely make sure that the give and take is there. So if we put in the work, we also need to put in the leisure time. We don't do that for ourselves very often. I'm just curious what's on the bottom of this Arcana deck. Aha! There he is, the Death card. Absolutely, because we are going through some metaphorical deaths right now, and we have been. We're a tough, tough sign. You know we are. I love my Capricorns. I love being a Capricorn. We're definitely weird people, but we're good people. We love hard, we work hard, we don't do things halfway. We can be intense, but that's the way we like it. Alright, so the next card I'm going to pull for you is going to be one from the Druid Animal Oracle. And I'm just going to pull a card to see which animal's energy Capricorn is resonating with most for the month of July. Oh wow, so we have the Water Dragon. This is very powerful. All the dragon cards, there's 4 dragons in this particular deck. I am a dragon. That's why I named my channel Dragon Tail Tarot, because I am in the Chinese Year of the Dragon. And whether you're a dragon or not, you're bringing in the power of the dragon. And the dragon is there's a wildness about the dragon. There's intellect about the dragon. So this is telling you that when it's in its water element, you're plumbing the depths and the intensity of that emotional realm, and that you actually have the potential to truly master those emotions and to really understand when to release them, when to hold them in, when it's safe to. Most Capricorns generally hold on to their emotions pretty tight. They don't always let out what they need to say or what they really feel. Sometimes simply because they're like, is it safe? Will it be used against me? Will they, take that information and turn it on me? Only let it out with people that you really, truly trust. That's the main. And also just feel it out. Trust your intuition a little bit more, because that Water Dragon is big emotions. It's big, big stuff. Anything that you feel that you need to let out or release, time to let it out. This is also creative power. It's also definite creative power. A lot of Capricorns are very creative. I'm a musician, I'm an artist, and I know a lot of fellow Capricorns definitely are as well. This is a wonderful time to be channeling any frustration, any angst, any sadness, any depression into your work. I always say that, Capricorn is a sign that definitely tends to deal with depression, melancholy, loneliness, but we relieve a lot of that by channeling that into the arts, into music. And it doesn't have to be, something traditional arts. It could be just cooking, decorating, taking care of others, something creative about the way you do your work. It doesn't matter what the medium is. An energy of creativity can be interjected into anything that we want to put it into. So now I'm going to do kind of the classic Celtic cross spread with the Osho Zen Tarot. It's one of my very favorite decks. And let's see what comes out for July 2019 Capricorn. I'm asking all my archangels, guides, and helpers and healers to come in and give me the best guidance possible to come through these cards to relate for the sign of Capricorn for July 2019. Alright, so this is definitely telling us here as Capricorns, we've got to let go of being worried of loss. because this is all about confronting our security drive. And like I said in our chart, we're always trying to make sure we have enough money in the bank, that we have trustworthy people. This is telling us this Queen of Wands, she's generous, she's flowing, she's radiant. She gives without worrying about having enough, because she knows that there will always be enough, like a well that just doesn't run dry. There will always be enough for her and for the people she cares about. And it doesn't mean you want to run around just wasting your resources or giving your energy, you know, that you don't have to give. If you're tired, you need to rest. But it's saying don't be quite so worried about getting a return always on that, because you will get the return. The giving is the gift. The giving is the action. And so what you give returns to you. If you give a gift out of true generosity and love and compassion, it's going to come back. So this one just popped out. This is the Queen of Water, the Queen of Cups. So here she is crossing over that Queen of Wands. This is intuitive, so it's fire and water. This is getting out of your head, because we're getting away from the air and the earth, which are very much more in our head and in our body. So this is more about in the intuition. And this is such a beautiful card. I love this because they actually replace the position of her face with the lotus blossom, and so she's just completely receptive, letting the universe flow through her, not worried about anything, because she's trusting. She's trusting that the divine guidance will be there and will be adequate for her. So in the immediate past position, we're going to go with turning in and going with the Fool card. So this definitely points to something in the immediate past, Capricorn, where you really trusted your intuition and you took that leap of faith. However it turned out, you definitely were willing to do that. Even if it was difficult, even if it was really, you know, maybe you didn't get what you even wanted out of the situation in the end, but you were willing to take that leap of faith. And so it's interesting that this, and I love this in this card, see, look at his little new moon, that new crescent moon right there in the top corner. So as we're growing into this beginning of the month of July, we're getting that new moon. This might say, remember that time you followed your intuition, you took a leap of faith, and even if it wasn't the easiest outcome, it tells you that you have the strength to love. It tells you that you have the strength of spirit to go with the flow and take that jump. It's beautiful energy. Okay, so the immediate future coming in, let's ask for that. It's going to be, oh yeah, so, oh Capricorn, something didn't go according to plan, because it definitely made you tighten up a little bit. This is that Four of Pentacles in the traditional deck. It's got the little guy holding on to the coins, because maybe someone took advantage of your good nature. Maybe somebody didn't, you know, treat you as well as you deserve to be treated. So going into the future, if you're feeling like this is telling you to try to keep that in check. Don't tighten up so much that you don't let something else that's good and new in. The Seven of Cups is also on top of this. So this definitely denotes that there's been some disappointments in love or in romance. Emotionally, there's been some letdowns, but this is also reminding us, this is the projection card in this deck, and it's saying that a lot of what you might be arguing with somebody about, or if you've got some kind of issue with someone else, a lot of it isn't real. A lot of it is just their own projection onto you, your projection onto them. So it really encourages to keep your own energy clear, and even encourage the other person to keep their energy clear. Not in like, oh, you need to clear out, but just tell them that, you know, if y'all are in the middle of an argument, you're not having a good time, it doesn't look like things are going great, and maybe they're angry, maybe you're sad, whatever's going on, and just say, hey, let's take a minute, let's breathe, I'll take a walk, you know, just get a breath of fresh air, let's drink some tea, whatever it takes to just sort of, you know, bring that cloud down back off of yourself, because, you know, you can see this. It's like it's really showing how these are not accurate reflections of who we truly are. And so when we're acting out of ego, when we're acting out of, you know, pain and hurt and frustration, we're never at our best. So first, make sure that you're not coming from that place, Capricorn, because we can only work on ourselves. We can't change someone else, so we can only start here. So let's start here, and then things will get quite a bit better. I also always want to mention that, you know, astrology, tarot, all these modalities and these methods, they're great for guidance, but they do not compel, they do not force, they don't command. And so if this doesn't resonate with you, or you say, gosh, I really don't like that kind of energy, you always have the power to shift it up. You always have the power to say, well, if that's what I'm dealing with right now, I'd like to change that story a little bit. Because that's really what it's doing. The cards are telling a story of where we are right now, where we may be going if we stay where we are right now. So just keep that. Always take everything with a grain of salt. I don't want anyone to ever get a reading and think, oh, my everything's bad, or something's not, you know, carved in stone. Always remember that these kind of things are fluid. It's a wonderful gift that we have. All right, so the undercurrent, wow, this is a great card, especially for an earth sign, Capricorn. This is the Ace of Pentacles, so definitely the power is there. Like I said, you know, Pluto and Saturn in our sign is really giving us a lot more maturity, a lot of stability that we just didn't have before. And a lot of this has come through a lot of trying times, a lot of dark nights of the soul, a lot of loss, a lot of grief, but you know, that's what makes us grow. That's what makes us more compassionate people. So that's also, this is definitely the riches of, you know, emotional maturity, but it's also physical riches many times as well. So you may be, you know, more driven right now to work a little harder, to plan new things, to grow new things. And crossing over it is your Justice card. So this is your balance. This is the breakthrough. This says, I'm not going to put up any more with the old order of things. I'm going to bring things into balance. I'm going to focus on where my gifts are, where my gratitude is, what I'm thankful for, what I have that I know is special and unique to me. Beautiful spread so far, Capricorn. This is great. All right, so let's take a look at the higher conscious and see what your strengths and the things that you should consciously focus on. Oh, wow. Oh, can't get better. Can't get better. There's your Ten of Pentacles. This is the wish fulfillment. This is the happy home. This is the stable life. This is the union with all the world and its energy. I believe Sagittarius had this card as well in different position, but this is a great card. And it really reminds us that our family is not always our blood relatives. It's anyone that we meet that we just, you know how that is when you meet someone and you just know. It's like you connect at a soul level. It's like you're my family. And then crossing over that, oh boy, here's that Page of Cups. And he's coming in there to offer some love, to offer some sort of relationship. So that is definitely there on the top. If you took that leap of faith in the past and it didn't quite work out, you know, this may be either the same person coming in to say, hey, I'm here to apologize. I'm here to make this better. You know, and there's something freeing in this. Us Capricorns, we're pretty guilty a lot of times with not having an easy way of forgiving people. We'll forgive, but we don't really forget. And so this is not just forgiving, but this is forgetting, because this is the freedom. This is the cage is opening. You're free to fly out into the world. There's nothing holding you back. It's truly, again, let it go, let it go. Nobody does winter like us goats. We're the winter people. All right, so let's take a few more. I'm going to pull some more cards and see where this is going. I think this is pretty great so far. So let's see what's coming up along the side here to see some more progression into this. Alright, Capricorn, so here's some really, this is some important stuff to keep in mind. It really is. So I think since this is in the position of, like, you know, suggested approach, how to handle this stuff, and here comes that Nine of Swords. This isn't always a bad card. Some people just, oh, they hate the dickens out of this card when it comes in. But the beautiful thing then, and this is why I love this deck, the Osho Zen, it shows the disciple of the Buddha grieving and weeping over the loss of his master. And so, you know, it said that because he sat with his grief, he didn't push it away, he didn't try to avoid it, that's when he achieved enlightenment. So I would say that, in a way, sometimes the way out is through. And if you've been going through that dark night of the soul, which I know many Capricorns are because we're in some very heavy energy, this is saying don't completely shut that out. Don't avoid crying. Don't avoid letting it out. Don't avoid talking to a friend or trusted counselor, someone that there's a way that you have to release and let go and transmute that sadness. Because if you do that in a really conscious way, that does bring a kind of enlightenment. That does kind of bring this new awareness and a new day that comes over it. So next up is your Nine of Cups, and this is a very funny card because in the regular tarot, the Nine of Cups is often like wish fulfillment, everything's going pretty great. But in the Nine of Cups in the Osho Zen, this is a little bit more like be careful, because you might think all those wishes are fulfilled, but don't get complacent. Don't get apathetic. Just because things are starting to go really well, don't stop working. Don't stop improving yourself. So just keep that in mind. Here comes your Seven of Swords. So this is also up this side. This is what you need to know about who you're dealing with. They don't always show you their true face. This doesn't mean that they're awful, nasty, negative persons, or like this card may suggest. But it just means that when you're dealing with someone, just like this projection card, you're really dealing with someone that's not completely showing you who they are all the time. So proceed with caution. I wouldn't say that this means run like hell and get away, but I would definitely say proceed with caution, because if you're really trying to make a decision about a potential partner, a potential mate, even a potential friend or someone that you want to get in business with, take your time. Get to know them, see them under certain circumstances so that you can really get to know whether or not that's someone you want to be with. It's overlaid by the Star card. So there really it isn't all bad about this person. They really have some wonderful attributes. This is, of course, Aquarian energy, air sign energy, but this is a beautiful balance. The Star is gorgeous. It's a combination of intellect and emotion. That may definitely be what you're dealing with somebody, is that they fight between their intellect and their emotion. If they're not balanced and they're not really expressing themselves well, and they're not expressing the fullness of the Star, they could be really out of whack. And they could just be, it's like they get too caught in the head, they get too caught in the emotions, it's all out of control, it doesn't feel quite right. Okay, so the next card out of the deck is going to be that King of Wands. This is the Creator. This is a beautiful card. I totally love this one. So this is in your hopes and your fears position about the situation, about the energy that we're in right now. And I think that with it being crossed by that powerful, powerful Ace of Wands, this is all about your strength, your power, your decision-making ability, your autonomy, who you are, your essence, the heart of that spark, of that fire that burns inside you. And you really hope to embody this even more. More positivity, more radiant energy. You're tired of being depressed. You are tired of being down. You're tired of being gloomy. And so that's why it's so important that you follow that step. If you've still got a lot of sadness, a lot of things that have been just bugging you, holding on to, let it go. Do a real process, though. Do a process of cleansing and emotional healing, because if you don't heal it, that stuff is still going to hang out, and this won't come through. Because if what you fear is that you won't get to this, right? Hope and fear, I always say, a little bit is like two really awful four-letter words, because the opposite of hope can be fear. So don't hope or fear too much, because they're two sides of the same coin. Don't worry about it. Don't put a lot of anxiety into it. I think you definitely, of course, you can. We can always choose at any moment, no matter how dark it is, to turn on the light. So you can choose to turn on your own light, Capricorn. Absolutely. So our outcome card, there's still a little bit of squabble. There's still a little bit of tussle, because this is that Five of Wands. But this is also a great card in the Osho Zen, because this shows that we are starting to connect. It may not be the easiest energy. It may be hard to trust sometimes. But that potential is there. It's overcrossed by the Six of Pentacles, which is all about balance. So again, just like going back to your Temperance card that we pulled at the beginning, this is telling you to stay balanced, Capricorn. Balance between the head and the heart, balance between the intellect and the intuition, and you'll come out really well this month. So next I'm just going to pull a couple of angel oracle cards for you. I'm going to pull an archangel and see what message we've got for this July. All right. Another fire kind of energy. This is Uriel, and it's you know what to do. So if you sit there going, Capricorns, we generally don't suffer from too much indecision. We usually kind of make our decision pretty quick, but we can procrastinate quite a bit. So if this is saying, you know, this is telling you, if you're sitting there going, oh, I don't know, it's like, get down to it, and you know what to do. Trust your inner knowledge. Act on that. And I'm going to pull one oracle card, see what the deepening of that message is. Alright, focus on service. This is a beautiful card. The art is beautiful too. But this is really telling us, don't focus so much on us. Just like that Queen of Fire in the middle of that spread, this is all about giving. Your soul desires to joyfully serve and to swim in a constant stream of bliss. The stream continuously feeds you everything you need. Put your entire focus upon staying in the stream of giving and receiving in every situation and all that you do. I think that this is a beautiful message for you, Capricorn. And I think that a lot of our signs this month, we're all getting a similar message of balance and harmonizing and give and take. Because that's what these eclipses, especially when they're so, you know, earthy and intuitive like Cancer and Capricorn, it's really bringing it up. Alright, y'all, I hope you really enjoyed this reading. I know I did. If you enjoyed the content, please subscribe. This is a brand new channel for me. I've been doing astrology and tarot for many, many years. I absolutely love it, and I hope that that you'll share and that you'll enjoy it and come back to see me soon. Take care. Bye-bye.